Hey, how's everyone doing there tonight? This is Undead Nightmare 24 back with a video. Hope everyone's doing well out there. It's going to be what I pretty much watched this week. I'm going to be going through a few films here of what I watched recently and talking about it real quick there. I'm trying this new segment here, guys, my second video. So let's see how it goes, man. I did see several YouTubers that do this and I really interested me, so I'm going to try it out too. It's going to be like weekly watches. I have a few films here. There'll be mixed genres. You could have horror, action, comedy sometimes, or crime drama, just films that I watch. And I'll give you guys my opinions on them and talk a little bit about them. I'll try to keep it as least spoiler free as I can. There might be some that slip out, guys, so I apologize for that. But let's get it started. I'm going to start with the first film I watched during this past week, Rush Week. This is a slasher recently released by Vinegar Syndrome. Um, yeah, I really enjoyed this film. It's basically about like you got this fraternity and they're pretty much the bad boys on campus. They get kicked out, then get brought back in, and you pretty much have this girl that's reporting, and she's trying to do a report, get an interesting story, but at the same time, you have these like bodies disappearing, people disappearing, and she's put to the task to find out what happened. At the same time, she gets involved with this fraternity, and you have these guys getting picked off one by one. So yeah, that's pretty much the story there, and you have this killer that looks pretty cool. He's got like that axe there and mask. But yeah, this is very 80s. It does have a good soundtrack on it. The filming kind of reminded me of a TV film. It's like shot like the way you shoot a TV film, but with way more nudity in it. So, but yeah, it just has that 80s nostalgia to it. The kills are a little off screen kills, which did bother me a little bit. But then you do have some pretty cool kills towards the end of the film. But overall, this is a solid slasher, and I really had fun with it. It's one of the so bad they're so good slashers from the 80s. But yeah, highly highly enjoyed it. It's a lot of fun. So it's not the best slasher, but it's still good. That's Rush Week. Next up, we got Slasherette Party. I watched this one as well. This one's a more of a lower budget slasher film, but yeah, it's pretty much this girl's having a bachelorette party out in this cabin in the woods. She invites her friends. There's some drama that occur between her and the bride to be and the husband, and you just see these pretty much these kids just partying, and all of a sudden they start getting picked off one by one. You got a killer with a pretty cool mask that's stalking him. Actually, there's two killers in this one that are stalking him through the mountains and through the wilderness and pretty much picking him off one by one. This has some great practical effects in it. Um, it has some cheesy one-liners. This is the type of film you got to turn your brain off and just watch like that. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. I enjoyed it, and there's some pretty awesome practical effect kills in this one. So that's Slasherette Party. I would uh I would recommend this one if you're a fan of slasher films. It's a lot of fun. And also on Rush Week, I forgot to mention, I would recommend that one too for 80 slashers. Next up, we got The Dark and the Wicked. Watch this one as well. This is pretty much like a supernatural type film. It's set like in a farm area. Got this brother and sister. They go back to visit their mom and dad. Their dad's pretty much bedridden. He's pretty sick. They don't give him long to make it. And then you got the mom was just acting very strange, and strange events start to happen to her. And you just have these brother and sister who are just, they're not really. The brother doesn't really want to be there, but he knows he has to. You got the sister who's pretty much, she's strong willed and she's there, and she's trying to do anything she can for her parents. But then you can see these strange events just happening, and throughout the dad being there bedridden, and the mom too, and some tragedy occurs, and then you got pretty much this brother and sister trying to fight off this supernatural presence which is haunting them throughout. But yeah, this has really creepy atmosphere, and it has a pretty solid story. There were some questions I had about this film I didn't understand, so this is probably a film I'd have to go back and watch again. But yeah, this is The Dark and the Wicked. I would recommend this one as well. It's a lot of fun. Next up, we got Saint Maud. This one This one's more of an artsy horror film. It's basically about this girl named Maud. You have her, she's a nurse. She's been through a lot. She's very religious. And then you got her caretaking for this dancer. She's kind of a dancer slash artist type of girl. And she's real, I guess she has money. She's taking care of her like in her mansion. She's sick. She has cancer. They're not giving her long to live. So you got Maud, who's the nurse, and then I think the girl's name is Amanda, the one she's taking care of, who have different beliefs. You have Maud, who's real religious, and you got Amanda, who's not at all. So they question each other's faith and religion, but then they start to have this bond, kind of weird bond. And throughout the film, you start to see pretty much Maud go into a world of madness as her religious takes over her, and then you got like psychological horror throughout the film, and you got pretty much mental health as well. So yeah, this film has some pretty creepy events that take place. Like I said, it's very artsy. I enjoyed this film a lot. I do agree that it's a horror masterpiece, and you got some scenes that are just, like I said, unsettling, and great acting in this film as well. So yeah, that's Saint Maud. I highly recommend this one, guys. It's not for everyone. If you're not into that artsy horror, you might get bored with this one because it does have some slow burns. But if you're into that artsy type of horror films, this one definitely is at the top of the list on those. That's Saint Maud. Really enjoyed that one. Next up, I watched this one as well this past week, The Night Ripper. Actually, I'm gonna have to cover this up. It does show some boobies there, guys, so covering those up. But yeah, this is a giallo film, Italian. This is a lot of fun too as well. You got the story of pretty much this guy. He's this killer that's going around and killing couples that are at like pretty much makeout spots, and he goes with either a gun, or if his gun runs out, he uses a knife to slice them up. And we're trying to figure it out. You got this author who's writing a story about this killer. He's been killing for like 20 years, and he becomes pretty much obsessed with the killer, man. He starts to go into his world, and he starts to unravel. He knows someone's following him, who he pretty much thinks is the killer, but he don't know if it is. And he gets more unraveled in this world of, a psychotic killer just going around killing these couples at nighttime, and he pretty much brutalizes them in pretty sleazy ways, man. He cuts the women up in some crazy places, and he's just this brutal killer. This film is a lot of fun. It's not the best giallo I've seen, but I did enjoy it. I can recommend it if you're a fan of giallo films and Italian horror. It definitely has that feel to it, but it's one of the least, not least, I shouldn't say. It's a little above average of a giallo film, but I've seen a lot better. But yeah, this one doesn't disappoint though. It's definitely worth the watch. It's The Night Ripper. And last but not least, this ain't horror, but this is a film I just watched actually. We got Radio Flyer, stars Elijah Woods. Yeah, this is one of my childhood films that I grew up watching. It's just it's a great story. You got Tom Hanks narrating it, and it goes to the imagination. Like as a kid, I had a blast watching this. You got these two boys, man. They pretty much move with their mom to California, and they're on their own pretty much. They don't really have much money, and you got the mom who starts to live with friends in an apartment, and then she finds a guy, and they fall in love and get married, and eventually get their own place. And then you got this guy who seems nice at first, and then he just turns into this pretty much alcoholic, abusive stepfather, and he really starts to punish the young boy, man. He's real sad, man. He's just abusing him, and then the older brothers doesn't know what to do, so they escape through their imagination. They go as kids all around town. They're making money, and they have plans on they always have a dream, especially the little younger brother, to fly. So they get this gift of a Radio Flyer wagon, and they pretty much start to build it to become a plane, like to fly pretty much. And it's real creative. Gives you that feel of your childhood, like you grew up in the 80s or 90s. You were always out and about. This has that feel to it, and it has a real heartwarming story. It can be sad at times. It can be funny. It can be fun. It has all those emotions in one. But yeah, this is a classic. I highly recommend it if you're into these type of films, or if you grew up watching this film. This is definitely the one to get. It has an excellent transfer on it. So that is Radio Flyer. So those are the films I watched this week, guys. I watched about, let me see. Hold on just a bit. I watched 6 films. Give you a quick scan again. I watched Radio Flyer, Night Ripper, Saint Maud, The Dark and the Wicked, Slasherette Party, and Rush Week. So those are my watches for the week, guys. Hope you enjoyed those. I just try to give as brief of a review as I could, so I don't give too many spoilers. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like I said, like, subscribe, comment, let me know what you think if you've seen these films. Keep it spoiler free. Everyone stay safe out there. Be kind to each other. This is Undead Nightmare 24 back with a video. Keep it horror. Peace.
Fraternities, sororities tend to accentuate the very worst, the most degrading influences. The BDB house is a perfect example. Their lifestyle is degenerate. Their Fright Night ceremony mocks the sanctity of death. As a celebration.
Cheers to Debris and Blade. Oh my god, this is amazing.
This is going to be the best weekend ever. I don't get it. How is this better than going to Vegas?
If I was maid of honor, things would have been much different.
Well, you're not the maid of honor. I am. And Brie's my best friend. This is her bachelorette party, and this is going to be the best weekend ever. Okay?
Yeah, guys. Chill out. We can still get wild, crazy, howl at the moon. Fuck yeah.
It was a time for fun. A time they would never forget. And dark secrets will come to light.
Alexa is so obsessed with you, like in a psycho stalker way. I think she has a crush on you.
You're crazy. She's just passionate. What are you doing?
You're not married yet, right?
Little did they know that an uninvited guest was outside, waiting, watching. Some people have eyes for the bride, and some people don't. All the bridesmaids have taken their places. You will take her hand in marriage, alive or dead, in unholy matrimony. Until death will they part.
così che te lo immagini.
Forse, non lo so.
È curioso. C'è qualcosa che ti somiglia.
Sì, perché la fantasia in qualche modo porta sempre a immaginare dei personaggi particolari. E invece questo personaggio, nonostante tutto, è così poco particolare che in 18 anni non ha mai dato nessun motivo di sospetto. La normalità è il suo nascondiglio. Eppure in tanti lo conoscono. E forse qualcuno sa. E tace.
Dopo quanto è accaduto, io credo che tu abbia un motivo davvero importante per continuare a scrivere il tuo libro.
Forse sarebbe stato meglio se non lo avessi mai cominciato. Lei, signor Ackerman, è uno scrittore e ha il grande privilegio di non essere né un poliziotto né un giudice. E con la sua fantasia può anche superare i limiti dell'indagine scientifica. Vedrà, signor Ackerman. Prima o poi sarà lui a cercare noi.
Your mama, she was saying things. She would sit right beside him just whispering. But she wasn't talking to him.
We found it in her pocket. She didn't believe in God.
What's the matter whether you believe?
I found Mom's diary.
What if she saw something out there?
I told Joel not to come.
There are things in this world, horrible things, wicked, and they come for whoever they want.
I saw something.
She wasn't crazy.
Do you smell him? He's close now.
He's not out there. He's already here.
Hi, you Maud?
Yes. Dear God, it takes nothing special to mop up after the decrepit and the dying. Can you feel that?
Yeah.
But to save a soul, that's quite something. Bless Amanda's body, and bless her mind, which is shrouded in darkness.
When you pray, do you get a response?
It's like he's physically in me. It's how he guides me. He's just there. He's everywhere.
Maud is looking out for me, you see. To save my soul, if I understand correctly. You must be the loneliest girl I've ever seen. I just want to see you loosen up.
I've got more important things on my mind.
Maud, he isn't real.
This is life and death on another level.
Oh, yes, of course.
Never waste your pain. Never waste your pain.
Great. This is Washington folded. Fed Samson is here. Pick the poop up and grass is watered.
Okay.
Guys! Yes, Mom, let's go.
Nothing.
Oh, Mom.
Remember when you couldn't drive, but you could fly? When life was full of wonders, nature was full of mysteries, and the world was full of monsters.
Ready?
But for two brothers, one monster was real. Hey, what are you doing up? And living in their home.
Everything's gonna be okay. I promise.
He was chasing me and I couldn't get away.
Harvey! Now, their only hope is to fight back.
The big idea. That's what I'm calling it. Because it's so huge and dangerous.
With the most powerful weapon they have, their imagination.
Radio flyer. The struts have to be stronger.
Those are his tools, Mike.
Damn it! Where are they?
We're running out of time.
You have to go tonight.